Okay. We are live now. Okay. All right. Thanks for joining. Tonight we are going to be talking about micro futures trade masterclass. I'm going to be showing you some of the uh, trade processes that I use using micro futures. These are this trade basically, you know, the bringing in of the micro futures from a couple of years ago is probably the best retail trading vehicle that has come out in a long time. And the reason for that is because it's really a leveraged instrument, but it's a very small position, and there's no better way to learn, right, than to trade small. And you know, and since you're able to take small losses, you're able to learn over time how to trade this, you know, this great trading vehicle. Okay, so let's get started here. All right. So what can you expect? I'm going to be showing you how you can make consistent returns monthly using micro futures without taking large losses, and make these returns month over month. Okay, literally, you'll be able to learn how to do this and make money month over month. Okay, it's really a very simple concept that I'm going to share with you on how to do this. Okay, because I like to, you know, bring things in simply so that you know, you can erase a lot of the learning curve, you know, that I've had to go through. And I'm just going to share everything that I know about trading these. Okay, and it could change your trading life forever. It really is a great tool. Okay, so we're going to talk exactly, you know, what exactly are micro futures, how to enter and exit your trade, how much capital you need to trade micro futures, when to scalp or when to use swing trades, how to accurately and effectively identify bottoms and tops, and that's really important in this type of trading. How many contracts you should trade with, and how to manage multiple contracts. All right, so stick with me to the end. I'm gonna have a bonus for you, and for those of you who have attended my webinars, you know that I go through the spiel. So just bear with me. You're gonna learn a lot. I want to give you a lot of value in this webinar. So hopefully it you know, it's good for you guys. Okay, so turn off your distractions. Focus, and this is going to be a great time, okay, for us, and you're going to learn a lot. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the question while you're here. You're interested in learning, you know, and I have 3 reasons. You're interested in learning new strategies that'll take your trading performance to the next level, so that you can trade full time, basically. Number 2, you've seen, read about others making money trading, and you know you can do it too, but you're just not seeing the account grow fast enough based on your goals. And number 3, you've tried different trading strategies that you thought, okay, this is it, only to discover that it's not getting you to the place of consistent trading results. So with that, let me know which one mostly characterizes you as a trader. Number 1, 2, or 3. Is it no? You know, let me know in the chat here where you're at with this tonight. You know, are you number 1, interested in trading? Okay, you want to see your account grow and find the right strategy. That's good. Okay, anybody else? Number 1. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, thanks, guys. All right, I'm a regular guy. I live in Puerto Rico with my wife on the left there, and my 5 kids who are all grown up. And that was at my oldest son's wedding, and then a long time ago, my MBA program. And there's my parents. Okay, so just a regular guy, and loves to trade and wants to help others trade as well. So mindset is really important. So imagine yourself that you would feel like if most of your trades were winners month after month, and it would be confirmed by watching the size of your account grow at the same time. Number 2, becoming the trader that no longer takes large losses, but consistently trades it according to a proven trade plan. That's very important. That is profitable over time, allowing you to grow your account, okay, month over month. All right, so I trade futures these are these are micro futures that I trade. I love them because I have a lot of flexibility in trading these. This is my year to date performance. So I'm basically making about $1,000 a month trading these, along with my credit spreads and other trades that I trade. But this is like a non-stressful trade, just because the positions are so small, and the way that I trade them allows me to just kind of put on a position, leave it on there, and put in catastrophic stops, and eventually it gives me a profit. And honestly, that's the way it works. Okay, so let's talk about profitability factors. There's basically two: market direction and how you manage your trade. Okay, getting the market direction right and properly managing the trade is key to profitability, right? So typical trade, it's not like a credit spread that has volatility and data decay and all that kind of stuff. This does have decay, but it's very, very slow. So it's not really a factor. Okay. All right. So let's talk about risk management guidelines and daily routine. Always trade with a plan. Number one, always determine your risk and your max loss, so you know what you're getting into. Trade with no more than 20% credit margin in your account, so that you have room for drawdowns, and you don't get emotionally involved in your trade. Okay, it should be mechanical. Do not allow for a more than a 2% loss on any trade, and size your trades to ensure that emotions are not part of the decision-making process. I always say, trade small, trade often, and you will do well. Okay, so let's move on here. One thing I wanted to mention is, if you could just keep your questions till the end, I will get to them. I promise you, every single one. All right, so pre-market routine. I review areas of support and resistance. Support and resistance is really, really important. And there's a lot of indicators that are derivatives of support and resistance. I use the real one, which is Fibonacci. I use Fibonacci in my Fibonacci retracement and Fibonacci extensions in my futures trading, and we will get into that. Okay, so I always look at the dollar. The dollar always affects price action in the SPX, because so this is talking about ES, right? ES futures or MES futures. Because the S&P 500 is comprised of multinational companies, and when the dollar goes up, it's more expensive for them to buy, so earnings go down. That's kind of the thing that happens with the dollar. All right. Treasury rates tells you something about the market. It can tell you that there's inflation, right? When rates went up. It can tell you that there's slower growth going to be happening as it has come down recently. So I pay attention to those things, because that's what traders pay attention to, and it does affect the market, right? So if you have that knowledge, you know which way to trade. ES futures trending direction. ES futures trade 6 days a week. Sunday it's closed, but they open at Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then it trades through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's when it closes. All right. So all that time, futures are trading 24/6 basically. VIX is the volatility index for the S&P 500, which is part of the ES. Okay. So when there's higher volatility, there's higher volatility in futures as well. Okay, it goes hand in hand. Also, I always review and understand economic reports and how it impacts on the market. Tomorrow we have the non-farm payrolls report, which is the mother of all reports, and that will be a market moving event. Okay, high or low, we'll see. Okay, post-market routine. Determine if rules were broken and why. Determine if risks were within acceptable levels, especially for wins, because you don't want to become complacent with your trading. So always trade with your plan, stick to it, and catch yourself if you've broken a rule and you made a win. Just remind yourself that you don't want to do this over and over again. Determine if losses were within acceptable ranges, so you don't want to trade with fear or greed. You trade with fear, your positions are too small. You trade with greed, your positions are too big. Emotions always have an effect in your trading, and so you want to make sure you mitigate them so that they're not part of your decision making process. Determine if tweaks or if adjustments to your trading plan is necessary. Markets change, people change, the Fed changes, policies change. So you always want to be in tune with the current environment and what's going on. So your trading plan reflects that and takes that into account. Okay. Update your trading journal with your findings, especially with being a new trader in a certain strategy. You want to document your trades and how well or good or what's going on, so that way you learn and you're in a continuously learning environment. Okay, that's very important as a trader. Just like in any career, you want to get better and better and better at what you're doing, and so you always strive for continuous improvement. Okay, all right. So let's talk about the nuts and bolts of this thing. Unlike ES and NQ, the position size are 1/10 the size, right? So you don't get two ticks and you lose $300. It's basically two ticks and you lose $4 or $5. Basically, is how it works. It's really really advantageous to use this as a learning tool to eventually get to ES. So you can see here, I'm not going to go through all the data. The important thing here is the margin requirements. Okay, so the margin requirements is very very low if you're just day trading. So you can basically trade with $100 and trade these futures, and as long as you close the trade by 4 o'clock, there's no margin. There's no additional margin required to trade. All right. Since I'm a swing trader, a lot of times I will trade and go through the day and sometimes into the second day or third day. And then sometimes my trades are just like an hour or two. Okay. So I have enough capital in my account to basically be able to absorb that with 3 or 4 contracts. So keep that in mind. All right. Trade setup. So let's talk about the trade setup. So again, I'm not going to talk about scalping. I make references to that, but really I'm going to be talking about swing trade. And when I trade using a swing trade, I basically use a lot of the hourly charts. All right. I reference it back to 5 minute and 1 minute, but really my setups and the way that I look at patterns are based on 1 hour charts. Okay, because I like trading longer term. It's almost a set it and forget it type of thing. As long as you have your targets and your stops in there, you should be able to just let it run on its own. And a lot of times I trade it at night and I go to sleep, and I either get a stop loss, for a smaller loss, or I make a nice profit if it gets, reaches or gets close to my targets. Okay. All right. So the overall daily trend is which way? It is higher, right? Normally markets are going up for most of the time. Even without the Fed, right? We would obviously have more corrections, but those corrections are fast. They move, and then once you figure out where the bottom is, and we're going to talk about finding a bottom, then you move on and you can continue your bullish approach to these trades, right? So again, the market is generally moving up, and so don't fight it. Just figure out how you can place positions so that you can take advantage of a bullish market, which is normally what we have. All right, so I'm going to get a little bit technical here using Fibonacci, and so Fibonacci is made up of percentages of a range, right? It's each line is a percentage within a range that the market goes through. Okay, so as part of the trade plan, I use an ABCD pattern. It's called an ABCD pattern, and I'm going to share that with you, where the pullback of the retracement in the fib is C, and it falls between 0 and 23%, 23.6%, not exceeding 38.2. So let's look at a picture of that. Okay. So here's a Fibonacci retracement from A to B. Okay. And what happens here is there's a pivot, right? And that's where the end of that's where the 100 is. Okay. And the pivot is just basically a, the market goes in the opposite direction, basically, is what it is. All right. It falls down, and you can see here that it didn't go beyond A. It stopped, before hitting A. And so that's a tradable bottom, right? Okay. So let's talk more about that. So I use one contract. I start out using one contract, sometimes two, and for an account that's less than $10,000. Okay, so my account was a little bit higher than that, but using $10,000, you're able to use multiple contracts. So I don't advise using. You can actually start with $1,000. You don't want to trade more than one contract. In that regard, and really ideally, the best way to start is like with $3,000. All right. So entry should be on a pullback between 38.2 and 23.6% retracement after the C leg is identified. And we showed that, right? And we're going to look at it again here. So entering below the 23.6 area is riskier because the market has not moved up as much. Okay. So it's in that phase where it might test the bottom and go through it. So it's actually more advantageous or less risk if you go up to the 38 level, then the market has some momentum already, and that's when you want to enter your trade. So after entering the trade, the initial stop loss is set at a support level below the A leg, and is considered to be wide to be used to prevent large losses. All right, so traders love to take out stops. All right, and so if the initial wide stop is broken, an alternate entry can be identified and entered, and then with a new stop. And I do this all the time. So what happens? Again, so I set my stop below here, but traders will position their trades. They'll put a limit order here to buy your stops, okay, when they go out. And so I use stops that are much further down, and that way, it'll give me a little room to absorb those stops that people take out. Okay, and then it'll continue going up. Now, I set stops so that I don't have big losses, right? Okay, and so that way I stay in a trade. All right. So we talked about the percentage, right? So this is the 23% here, right, to 38.2. Those are the numbers that I was talking about. And so it's more advantageous that you get in here rather than down here, right? Because down here, you don't know what's going to happen after this. It could go right back down. And so when you get in here in the trade, it's a little less risky because the market has already gained some momentum, as I mentioned, right? All right. And so just reiterating that's where you want to enter the trade. So this is an ideal situation. It happens. But there's obviously different ways that you can get in, and we'll talk about those. All right. So trade exit, profit target is established by using the fib extension, and we're going to talk about the extension. It should always be taken at the 100% fib extension level, and once you take some profit, if you're using multiple contracts, you can put in a trailing stop and let it see if it's going to go up to the 125 level, right? So let's look at this again. So here's the 100 level. This is where you get out, and above this is the 125 level, somewhere up here that you can let it go. And if it's in a trending market, a nicely trending market, it's going to go higher. Okay. But it can also, come right back down and take out your stops. And that's why you have stops. Okay. All right, so that's really the very basics of trading an ABCD pattern. All right, and I would encourage you to learn that, become an expert at it, and uh, and get some trading under your belt with profitable results. Okay, before moving on to something else. This is it's probably the easiest way to trade these, and I'd really recommend it. And I still use them all the time. I use them all the time. All right, so let's talk a little bit about support and resistance that's really outside of the fibs. This is called the initial balance level. The initial balance level is the range that the market takes during the first hour of trading. So you can see here that 9:30, we found a pivot here, so it hit the bottom, and by just before 10 o'clock we had a top here, right? So if the market would have kept going up, here, let's say it would have stopped here, then you would have taken this line up, and that would have been the initial balance level, right? Because it's before 10:30. So it was established, right at this time, and it never broke until after 10:30, and this is where it broke. Okay, so a lot of traders use this, and you can use this in different ways. You can use it to say, okay, so this is my, this is a support level or a resistance level, and you wait till 10:30, and you can see here it hit it. It went down, and boom, it went right past it. It broke out of that level, but it was a false breakout. And then there's ways of looking at this and taking a short. That's just one way of trading it. Okay. Okay. So in this case, different, a little bit different here. The level was breached, right? Was breached here, and this is actually the same chart, only it is this 5 minutes? Yes, this is 5 minutes. So we did a 1 minute chart earlier. So this is the 5 minutes. So I'm showing you what happens after. So the market, it went down here, all right? And again, this was a tradable short, if you're scalping. So this is an example of a scalp. But then it broke out. But after it broke out, right, it kind of stayed in this range. It stayed in this range for a long time. Actually, for the remainder of the day, it stayed in that range. It tried to break out again here, and then it went down. Once it broke the IB level, this is definitely a shortable trade here, where you would go down and then take a profit here at your support level, on the IB. So this is just another example of trading IB levels, and a lot of traders use this as well. Okay, so let's move on here. All right, now this is probably the most important technical area that we're going to talk about here, and that's finding a bottom. So as a futures trader, you need to figure out where the tops are and where the bottoms are. Okay, so I mostly trade bullish patterns, and so I'm constantly looking for the bottom. Right. So this is a 1 minute chart, and let's walk through it. So here we have a bottom. We got a bottom here, right? And so what happened? The market went up, and it went back down, and it tested and failed. Okay, so it broke the bottom. So now we don't have a tradable bottom yet, right? Same condition. We got a bottom here now. The market went up, then went down, and failed again here because it kept going down. So we don't have a bottom yet. And this is really important. This is, you don't want to get in here and get stopped out, and get in here and get stopped out, and get in here. I mean, it costs you money. So you want to let it go and have patience. And so it's very important as a futures trader, to have patience in the market. Okay, so we got another bottom here, and guess what? It tested, it failed, right? And here we got the next bottom. And what do you know? At 10:30, there's your IB level, right? So it started here, and here was your IB level here, where it finally found the bottom. So you can see that it went up, it went down here, okay? And it tested it basically, but it didn't breach, okay? Sometimes it'll breach by 1 or 2 ticks, and that's a bottom as well, okay? All right. So there's a test. Now there's a reversal. That's when you get in on the reversal pattern. So this is now, let's see here. Okay, so I want to show you one more thing about this chart. Okay, so let's talk about convergence. So you see here that the market is going down, and this is the RSI. The RSI is slowly going up while this was going down. You can see here that this was, you see the little blue here, and it didn't really go down that far. So you have a trend line here, and you have a trend line here. This is called convergence, and they're going against each other. So what happened was it was losing momentum, and there you could, when you're looking at this, you're seeing, okay, we're losing momentum here, so there, a bottom is coming near, right? And so that's exactly what happened. All right, and it's called divergence. All right, so this is the same chart, only 5-minute, right? So that area that we were just looking at here, this was the top and this was the bottom where the IB level formed, right? And so look what happened. It went up, it went down, and this is exactly what we were looking at. It tested the area, but it didn't breach it. And so this is where your entry is, okay? So this is the second time that I mentioned this, right? And this is the perfect time to get into the trade. So now, if you look at this chart, can you see the higher lows here? So let's mark it out here, right? So when you see a chart, you'll see the higher lows and the higher highs, okay? So let's look at the higher highs, okay? So now we have a reversal and a trending pattern, right? So we have a trending pattern now, and these are actually A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. See the patterns? They're always forming like this, okay? And when you look at this, you can see the pattern now. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D, right? And it goes the other way too. It goes A, B, C, D, or D, okay? So the pattern repeats itself over and over and over again. And that's why I'm telling you, you learn this one pattern and you'll see this thing in your sleep, okay? And that's how you trade it. And it's just really easy to make money once you're able to learn this and understand it. And yes, it takes practice, right? But after trading this for several times, you'll catch it and you'll learn it and you'll make money every time. Not every time, because obviously it stops out. Here's the lower high. So if you got into this trade here and it kept going up, this is where you want to get out, right? Now when it's sloping down here. Alrighty, so let's talk about bigger patterns. Now these are hourly patterns. So these are the types of trades, the patterns that I use to trade. All right. So can you see where the ABC pattern is in this one? If you look at the whole chart, okay. So think about it, right? And then I'm gonna reveal it to you where it is and see if you're right. Did you get it? Again, you can start seeing these things. So here's your A, B, C, D, clear as day, right? So I like to trade these patterns at the bottom. I like finding the real bottom so that I get a nice big move up. Okay. And it takes patience to do that and to get in, right? But just keep in mind this market, it could have stopped here and gone down. However, uh, the AB pattern and the CD pattern are almost the same length. And that's a characteristic of an ABCD pattern. So you can judge where the market's going to stop based on the length of these positions here when it pivots. So you can get into an entry a little bit earlier, take a little bit more risk, right? If you're confident that this is the end of this cycle of this ABCD pattern. This is where you get in and you just ride this baby up. Okay. And that's where I like to get in on these trades. There's a lot of traders that'll get into this trade at the C level, right? This is very common. So they'll see this pattern, this bearish pattern going down, and then they see this, you know, it's definitely a bear flag here or a pennant, and then it breaks, here, and this is where you want to get in, right in this area here. Okay, even here you can get at the bottom, right? But once it breaks, it's going down. Okay, and it's a lot of times it's typical for this thing to break this level, even though it's early and you can see it's early. So you don't want to trust this, that it's going to go up, because the length of this bar should be the same length as this one, all right? And so you'll kind of wait for it. Alrighty. So a little technical there, but I'm giving you things here that it takes a lot of times years for traders to learn this. All right. It took me, when I started trading futures, I started actually in 2020, no, 2019. And I was learning this stuff, but I did good, in the first year that I was trading, because I had already had experience with Fibonacci's and trading credit spreads and support and resistance. So I had that background, right? And I just had to apply these extensions, is what I had to do. All right, so let's talk about an extension now. So this is a fib extension. Do you see the pattern? A, B, C, D. Now this is a very similar pattern that we just had, only now it's bullish, right? So remember, I like getting in at the bottom of these. Yeah, you can get in, and then again, this is a very, very common place to get in to this position once this has done its thing, and then you get into the C area up to the D area. Okay, in a bullish pattern. Sometimes I like to catch them here, and I take a couple stops along the way, and but I like fishing for that bottom to get there. All right, so this really covers the technical way to trade these futures. Now, another thing that I do with these is with additional positions. All right, so let's talk a little bit about that. So I may get into a trade like, I get into a trade here and I just put one contract in. It went down, so it's going to go down again, right? So maybe it goes up here and it goes down again. I may add a contract here, right? I may add a contract, and cost average down is, and it's riskier to do that, right? But with very, very small positions, you can cost average down, and then you're building a larger position. So when the market does go up, you make a much bigger profit doing it that way. I wouldn't recommend you do that, especially at the beginning. But after you have some confidence and you've made some money, then you can try those things. But there are times where my catastrophic loss takes over, and you just can't keep going down, right? So you have to give up. There'll be better trading days ahead, and just take one for yourself, and then come back the next day and get at it again. All right. So that's kind of the way that I use additional contracts, and I may also use one. I may put it in here, let the market go up, and then wait for a dip, and then add a contract. And by that time, I'm profitable. But sometimes it does go against you, and so I set my stop down here so I don't take a big loss. I'll take maybe even a small profit, by doing it that way. So that's just another way to add contracts as well. All right. Okay. So now, we covered, how I trade futures day in, day out. And the question is, would you like to follow these types of trades, right? And learn how to do it day in, day out, along with, trading credit spreads and everything else that we trade that we make a lot of money in. And what I've done is basically set up this program so that, I really work at developing a trade plan, and then I give it away. Okay. I give it away. And so it's much less costlier for you guys to do it, even in a trade alert service, because for me, I have to take the losses, right, to learn how to put these trade plans together. And in any case, again, I'll get to your questions in a minute here. So just let me get through this. All right. All right. So you mentioned, or we talked about why you're here, right? You're interested in learning new strategies. You want to get better. You want to stop the losses. For whatever it is, I want to support you in that, and make you and help you become a better trader, right? So you always need learning, training, instruction, and practice. As a trader, you're here. That's good. You're investing your time, which is what you need to do to learn how to trade. This is very, very good that you're here, not breaking your head and trying to figure it out on your own. Okay. But the question is, do you want to keep doing what you're doing and hope that something is going to stink to make you a consistent trader, and you still don't know what that is, right? Or are you going to finally take the steps that that'll get you there to the place that really works? Okay. And the place that really works is by, working with other people who have been successful, right? That's really the best way to get there in the fastest amount of time, right? So besides learning, training, instruction, and practice that leads to success, you also need discipline. So learning how to trade, having patience, sticking to your trade plan, you need these, you need that discipline in order to keep going. Okay. Also the commitment, you don't want to quit, right? And having edge or multiple edges to figure out, how you can be ahead of everyone, that you're trading against. Okay. And a no quit attitude, right? That will get you to success, right? And I can tell you now that as a trader, I make money every single month. There's not a month that goes by that I lose money. Okay. And so that's really, really important to develop that consistency. And that consistency comes from discipline and sticking to your trade plan and doing what that works. Okay. And not trying things outside of that, outside of that realm. And so our trade alerts are, most of them come from my account, okay, that I trade. When I set out to do this, I set out to say, okay, I'm going to be completely transparent with my trades. Everybody's going to know when I lose and when I gain money, and that really helped me as a trader doing that. Okay, so this is what I do. This is how I do it, and the people that trade with me benefit greatly from it, right? And at fractions of the cost that it would cost you to learn all this on your own. Okay. So whether you're getting started already and successful, branching out into new strategies. The program that we put together is designed to transform your trading from uncertain to predictable and teach you how to generate those returns month after month in a consistent way. It works, guys. This works. Okay. So we use Telegram, and I share my performance. It comes out every automatically and at the end of the day, and we have chat groups, multiple chat groups. That's two-way communication, right? We define what those what you're supposed to do in those chat groups, and make sure everyone is using them correctly. Okay, because we want to, when those trades come out, we want to make sure that you're getting them and they're accurate and there's no ambiguity about it. All right. And so we have chat groups that are two-way communication where people can talk to each other, and it's great because there's a lot of camaraderie, and they learn from each other, because a lot of these people are that we work with are full-time traders already, and they are they're putting out their trades as well, and our subscribers are actually benefiting from it. All right. And then we have one-way communication where I have a channel, Ike has a channel, and we're the only ones talking to put out those trades, and we're the only ones answering the questions, for you. So you get direct attention from professional traders that are in these rooms, right? In addition to that, for futures trading, we actually have 2 live rooms going on simultaneously, right? So, and we're teaching Elliott wave, ABCD patterns in real life, leveraging those patterns to trade futures or other types of instruments. And again, you're going to learn, and you're going to learn to trade. And a lot of people come and they leave after a few months, of trading. And to me, that's success, right? It's not a failure, it's success. That's my goal, is to get you to a place where you're successful in your trading and independent. I have a lot of success stories. Here are 3 of them. This is Matt, who trades monthly credit spreads. Luke has been with us for a couple of years. Loves the amount of money he's making, and Emmy loves the environment, and just great for. It's very, very professional, and people are really serious about trading, and they're making money. Okay, and then. Brian, he's a successful trader, full-time trader, and works with us now. And he basically found me and wanted to learn how to trade the way that I trade, because he's a scalper. So he learned micro trading from me, and trades the swing trades that I put out. Okay. I want to share with you too that I have a guarantee. All right. And a lot of people will try to get you in the first month, and then it's who knows what you get, with that. But if you subscribe for 1 month and you lose money in that month, I will refund your subscription by 125%. And I have never had to pay anyone back I've never had to give a refund for this. And I've been at this for more than 2 years. All right. So I wouldn't put this up if I thought that I wasn't confident that you were not going to lose money when you got into the service. And so, almost every day, I get testimonials from people saying, "Man, I made 25% this month, or 15% this month, and I've never traded this consistently." And it's not that they're mimicking my trades. Yes, they're mimicking, they're, especially at first, but they know after they've been there for a month or two, they know when I'm going to put on a trade. They know what positions I use, and what deltas I use, so they're almost doing it on their own, by that time. So here's the cost, guys. Okay. The regular cost of $59.99 and $129. The $129 is a full bore service where you get 2 live trade rooms. Okay. You're here tonight, and honestly, it's the price. The price tonight is $39.79 and $109. We open the service every 3 months to new subscribers. we're on our final day. This is the final day, to join. Tonight, I take the price up again, right? And so I just want to, encourage you to make that very, very small investment, even if you're going to just want to try it 1 month, right? And give it a shot. But I promise you, if you stick with it, this program will change your trading life forever. I promise you that. Okay. People come out of there, making money all the time, consistently, right? And I'm not talking about making money quickly, right? You have to go through the process, but you know, I mean, there's no better way to learn and earn at the same time, all right? Okay. So we also have a credit spread trading course that I put together a while back. People use this as a precursor to join the service. It's a $400 value, and we derived that because when I was doing one-on-one mentoring, it cost $800. Then group coaching $400. And the course value again $400, and the regular price of the course is $149, and you can get it today for $129. All right. So I put a lot of hours into this thing, and it's really about credit spreads, not about futures. Futures I'm working on, but this is something that you can grab at $129, and it really will. It goes hand in hand with the service as well, outside of futures. So the question is, if you want to learn step-by-step process to gain income in a market that goes up and down, you want to finally break those series of losses and account drains, and you want to earn consistent income that sets you apart from traders, this is the best way to get there. All right. So you get the discount, the $20 discount. You get a professional traders group and chat group. Training, we got an additional education area website, basically, that we add content to there, so you're able to learn different types of trading methodologies as well, and this is all included. Okay, there's no additional fees here. And a lot of my trades are automated. Once I put in the trade, it goes into Telegram and it integrates with Telegram, and you can grab those those trades as they come in. I announce the fill price, the target price, the stop price. And again, you get a guarantee that you'll make money when you get in there. All right. There's no better way to do it. So here's the offer. If you want to join, I set it up a little late here. And let me look at the questions here. Not too many questions. Okay. So you got it, Ed. Okay. Okay, so you're strictly day trading to avoid contract rolling to the new month. No, the day trading is really to preserve your margin, so you don't have to put up a full margin on your futures. Is that what you were talking about, Charles? We're not talking about credit spreads. We're talking about futures, right? So futures are contracts that do expire. I'm not even sure if you're still here. Okay. Okay, the micro futures is included in the 109 plan that I had set out here. So let me put those, see if I can put those prices back. Yeah, there it is. So if you go to the website, the website is going to show you the full price, but you just click on the full price, and then it diverts you into an instruction page so that you can download Telegram, and that's where you sign up in Telegram. Okay, so it's not from the website. The website is just to get you there to get you the instruction. You'll get a link, and then it'll take you to the Telegram page for you to be able to subscribe if you want to subscribe. And the package with futures is the 109 package. All right. Are there any other questions? Okay. So I'm going to leave this up a little bit so you have access. I do micro trades at all times. So, sometimes in the morning, sometimes after hours. As I mentioned, I might trade at night. Not tonight, just because of the it's really choppy because of the farm the farm the payrolls that are coming out, non-farm payrolls that are coming out tomorrow. So I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it tonight. But a lot of times I'll put on a trade at night and let it run. Um, you can upgrade or downgrade at any time, and you can always get the discounted price once you're in. Yep, exactly. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions about the technicals that I went through? I tried to create that in a very, very methodical way so you really, really can understand it. And hopefully you got some value from that. It took a long time to figure that out, but I learned from other traders as well and how they did it, and it worked out. Any other questions, guys, that you have? Okay. Alrighty. If you have, make sure you jot down the website, and if you have any other questions, you can reach out to me at any time, and I'm here for you. Hopefully you can take advantage of it. The link in the chat. Yeah, let's see. What is the link? Yeah, let me pull that. I think I can get it. Thanks, Stephen. And we're back. My futures trade plan is available and it's accessible. Yes, it's in the Telegram service. Let me share my screen here quick. Okay, it's in the Telegram service, but I can. We haven't made that accessible outside, I don't think. But I'll work with Steven to see if we can get it out there for you guys. I'll put it out there. So yes, I have it written out, and we can put that out there. Right? Any other questions? All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Hope this was of value to you, and hope to see you in our trade room so you can make